This is a bit of a personal story about my first encounter with the IFC performance standards. I was working for the Canadian Business for Social Responsibility. It was probably 7-8 years ago. And we were doing some IFC compliance, early compliance and familiarization of the standards with a client in Turkey. And we were on the ground, and the community relations manager and the team were having some difficulty. It was early days in the conversation. They were having some difficulties because the Mukhtars, the chiefs of the communities, wanted to control 100% of the conversation. They wanted to be in every meeting. They wanted to be present at all times. And we knew, even aside from the IFC performance standards, that this was a bad idea. And you want to have an inclusive range of voices from different stakeholders. So we were sort of struggling with, well, how do you get around this? And I don't know who brought it up, but the idea was, well, blame it on the IFC performance standards. That the standards dictate that you need, some inclusion of various stakeholder voices, and that would allow us and the community to be able to give an opportunity for those leaders, the local leaders, to save face. Originally, the chiefs wanted to be in every part of the dialogue. Every process that was happening, they wanted to be a part of it in the room, which we knew inherently was problematic because people can't speak their minds in the same way. So the process allowed them to feel like, they weren't giving up their traditional practices. This was a side process that was happening over here. And over time, it became the norm as I eventually moved on from the project, but stayed in touch for a few years. And it became the norm, and it really changed a lot of the dialogue processes at the local level in terms of including ethnic minorities and particularly women into the dialogue process. And that was a defining moment for me because since then, whether it's been an IFC-funded project or not, I've always used the IFC performance standards for projects or our own even make-believe standards as that thing that you could allow local leaders to save face, to say, well, we have to do it this way because it's our corporate standards or it's the IFC performance standards. And it allows the local leaders to save face while still allowing you to get out and have those voices of women, ethnic minorities, vulnerable groups, etc. So my first exposure to the IFC performance standards was the use of the wonderful strategy of blame it on the IFC performance standards in order to get an inclusive range of stakeholder voices.